Alrighty, Alyssa, let's see what we've got. So we've got to write the numerator in the top blank and the denominator in the bottom, and we're going to simplify. In order to simplify, we've got to be able to combine these. And in order to combine these, we've got to find a common denominator, which means we need to factor this. So we've got x plus 4 over... we've got x's here. We need to get a negative 3 and have a positive 2. So it's going to be 3 times 1 is the only way to do that. So plus 3 minus 1, right? So it's minus 2 over 1 minus x. Well, we don't want a negative x. We want a negative 1. So we're going to have to actually multiply this entire fraction times negative 1 over negative 1 in order to get the factor that we want. And that's perfectly okay. We can do that. So that gives us x plus 4 over x plus 3, x minus 1 minus negative 2 over x minus 1. Now we can find a common denominator. And because we have a negative and a negative here, then that will become positive 2. So we're going to take this little negative sign and transfer it here. And now it's plus, because a negative and a negative make a positive. Okay, so now we can factor. Now we know we just need to multiply this fraction by the other factor to get a common denominator. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to say x plus 3, and then x plus 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and find like the distribution here. So we've got x plus 4, and then 2 times x is going to be plus 2x, and then 2 times 3 is going to be plus 6. So that is over x minus 1, x plus 3. So x and 2x is going to be 3x. 4 and 6, that's going to be positive 10. And then you go right back to where you were with the original denominator, x squared plus 2x minus 3. And that would be your answer. Okay. 3x plus 10. And I'm pretty sure that's right. Let me double check over here. Yeah, so you had the denominator correct, and it was factored, and it took it. So that I think that's an option that we allow. But the only thing you didn't have was the numerator. So the numerator is 3x plus 10. So I would just write down whatever you have. Go look at your responses and write down what you have for the denominator. One of the ways you can do that is go ahead and turn in your work. Write down the things that are marked correct, or check your notes for what's correct, and then click redo, because it's going to erase anything you got wrong. And it's going to erase the whole page. So if you have more than one blank on a page, even if you got some of the blanks right, it's going to erase them. So you're going to write down the numerator that you have already marked correct, so you don't have to redo that. And just do 3x plus 10 as your numerator, and you'll be fine. All right, next problem. All right, we had x is equal to 2y. That is a perfect substitution value right there. So we can go ahead and sub in 2y for x on both of these equations. So 2y plus y plus z is equal to a negative 198. So all I did was I took this value and put it in for here, and I'm going to put it in for here too. So then that would be 2y minus 3y minus 2z is equal to 16. So this is 3y plus z is equal to negative 198. And this is negative y minus 2z is equal to 16, because 2y minus 3 is a negative 1y. I need to get a value over here that I can either substitute or eliminate. And I think what I want to do is use substitution, because I have a positive z by itself. So that's going to be pretty easy. All I have to do is subtract 3y from both sides. So now I have z is equal to negative 3y minus 198. So I'm gonna take this as a substitution value and put it in for z over here. So negative y is minus 2 times negative 3y minus 198 is equal to 16. So now let me distribute negative y, negative 2 times a negative 3 is going to be a positive 6y. And then negative 2 times negative 198, it's going to be negative times negative to be a positive. I know 2 times 200 is 400, and there's 2 missing, so that's going to be 396, if I can write it down. Yeah, because 2 times 8 is 16, so that's right. So 396 is equal to 16. So now combine like terms and shift this over. So 5y is equal to negative 380. Y is equal to 76. I think that's right. Let me use my calculator right quick. I'm trying to do it in my head. 380 divided by 5 is 76. All right, but it's going to be negative. Negative 76 because this was a negative 380. So negative 76. I'm going to write that better so the negative sign stands out a little bit more. Negative 76. All right, so if y is negative 76, right, then I can come over here and I can put in the value for y as negative 76. 2 times negative 76 is going to be 2 times 70 is 140. And then 2 times 6 is 12. 140 plus 12 is going to be negative 152. So if that's negative 152 for the value of x, so far we've got x is negative 152, y is negative 76, z, now we can take the value for y and put it in for z over here. So I can say negative 3, value of y is negative 76 minus 198. So z is equal to, let's do that. So I've got 76 negative times 3 negative is 228 minus 198. Z is equal to 30. And I'm going to check that right quick. Yes, negative 152, negative 76, and 30. All right, so let's look at the next one. So again, we have 3 equations and we need to solve. So this has a negative value, this is a negative value, but this x is a positive value. So it's really easy to create a substitution value for min. So I'm just going to add 3z to both sides. X is equal to 3 times z. So there's my substitution value for x. So I'm going to sub that in here and here, right? 2 times 3z, because that's the value for x, plus 2y minus z is equal to 81. And the other equation, 3 times 3z minus y plus 2, oops, my pen quit working. Sometimes I go too fast and it doesn't want to register. Is equal to 27. There we go. All right, so now we distribute that 6z plus 2y minus z is equal to 81. 9z minus y plus 2z. I need to make my 2's fancier so they look like 2's and not z's. Combine like terms. So 5z plus 2y, because I've got this negative 1z right here, is equal to 81. And 9z plus 2z, that's 11z minus y is equal to 27. Okay, so I can pretty easily see that if I just multiply this times 2, I can get the opposite of positive 2y. I can get negative 2y. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to multiply everything here by 2. So, and then I'm going to write it over here. So, 2 times 11, that's 22z. 2 times negative 1y, because that's invisible 1, minus 2y. 2 times 27, that's 54. Easy peasy, those cancel. So this is 27z is equal to 1 and 4 is 5, and 8 and 5 is 13. So 135. So I just need to divide 135 by 27. And that's 5. So z is equal to 5. So now that I know z is equal to 5, I can come over here and I can sub in 3 times 5. X is equal to 15. Z is equal to 5. So now in order to find what y is, I am going to, I think I'm just going to use this right here without the multiplication by 2. Just because it's sitting over here by itself and there's space under it. That is the only reason I'm using it as opposed to any other equation, because I have the room to write underneath it. So 11 times z, 11 times 5 minus y equals 27. 55 minus y is equal to 27. Minus 55 from both sides. Negative y is equal to, oh goodness, 55 minus 27. Let me do that here. 55 negative plus 27, negative 28. Okay. So negative 28, but this is a negative sign, so we multiply everything by negative 1. Y is equal to positive 28. So there's my answers. Let's double check that, make sure that's right. Yeah, 15, 28, y, or 5, sorry. So x is 15, z is, yes, x is 15, y is 28, z is 5. And I think that's what we have over here. X is 15, y is 28, z is 5. And that's right. And that's how you would do that. Just keep finding either a substitution value by finding that positive variable by itself. I could have just as easily taken this right here and created y is equal to, and then, you know, a positive y is equal to by multiplying by a negative 1, everything there. And use it as another substitution value, just like we did on the previous problem. It's all about what you see within the problem and what the shortest distance is to get to the next step, right? For me, looking at it, you know, if you obey all the rules, you're following the rules of mathematics. For me, seeing this negative 1y and this positive 2y, I knew all I had to do is multiply this by 2 to get to the shortest way to eliminate the next variable. So it's all about how you look at the problem, how your brain works, and what steps you see next. There is no one specific right way or right pathway to get from one to the other. What matters is that you do the operations correctly. If you do the operations correctly, you don't drop a negative, you don't add a negative, you're going to get the same answers regardless of the methodology that you use, is what I'm trying to say. All right, that's all I've got. I will see you on Thursday.